Hi, my name is Rohan and I was playing at the batting all-rounder.
I'm Sriram, I'm the captain of the water polo team.
My name is Rafat.
I'm Aviram. I was the vice captain this year.
I'm Svetika.
Okay, start பண்ணலாமா?
My name is Aditya Vikram. I am the Institute Sports Secretary of IIT Madras for the year 2023-24. We come here with a mindset to do academics, but the golden treasures are the time which we spend with our batchmates. And sport is one thing which unites people irrespective of the region or the language they speak. And the brotherhood and camaraderie that when a person joins the NSO, works hard, grinds their way up to the institute probables, then he works even harder and gets into the institute team and finally gets to represent IIT Madras wearing that tracksuit and marching in front of the contingent was a moment of immense pride for me.
So during NSO, it's like there were lots of people. Like there are 20 men and around 20 girls as well. So we only had 2 courts. So technically we couldn't play much and all. But once we got into the team, it's like that's when we started playing something. Like we got to practice well. That's where we started improving.
NSO is kind of like the beginner sessions. I mean, he starts from the basics, coach is there every day. And so you learn and pick up the sport. Minicamp is more rigorous and it's like the latter part where you're practicing drills and stuff like that. So if you're part of, I think anybody who comes to Insti in their first year, second year, they'll get to experience NSO, they'll learn, and then they can, if they do well, they'll move to minicamp and make it to the team.
The shuttle runs during the cyclones. It continuously, sir made us like keep on running, take a breather for 1 minute. People started breathing heavily and then they were like, no, run again, have shuttle runs. And that too was a competition in 3 lines when players were divided into 3 parts and they were having a competition on shuttle runs. And the ones who got the last had to do rolls.
Women's team used to probably come 6 to 8 every day. I rarely remember missing practice.
Yeah, also were pretty regular.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit exaggerated. Remove this from the record.
Chess is physically draining if you play one classical game for over, let's say, 4 hours, 5 hours, sitting straight at the board. You need a lot of stamina to do so. And to be in the right headspace also, you need to be physically fit if you have to give your all mentally for the game as well. And other than that, let's say, may not be as intense as cricket or football or any other sport, but yeah, we do need to be physically fit. And since, let's say, it's comparatively less physically challenging, and all of us put in like 10 to 12 hours easily during the main camp. So it was very intense for us and we put in a lot of effort.
Yeah, like with chess, like I guess with football and all, you have to be at the ground to practice. With chess, you can be in your room, it'll be like 12 a.m. and all, you'll still be practicing because, I mean, first of all, you have the ability to do it and it's like fun, man.
Yeah.
So, did the cyclone not affect you much?
Not at all, I would say. There's no limitations for us in sense of weather conditions. So
chess is pretty flexible in terms of playing and practicing it. We could do it from our rooms as well.
Like, mess was closed for 2 weeks. That's pretty much it.
I had no miss, but it is chess.
So this year, the inter-IIT main camp, which generally happens after the NSEMs, was just 2 months after I became the Institute Sports Secretary. The initial 10 days of the main camp was rained out. Most of our practice sessions were converted to fitness sessions, and the outdoor sports especially was affected a lot by it. When we thought that the rains are over and the sun gods will be kind to us, that's when we got to know that it was just a trailer and the real movie, Cyclone Mishong, hit us. We were all stuck in our hostels, no electricity, scarcity for food. Sport was something beyond the survival. But somehow we had to make it to the inter-IIT. It was too much at stake. So after a long fight, even after trains got cancelled, even our jerseys did not arrive, we somehow made it to Bombay and Gandhinagar, and we were there participating, competing, and finally winning it.
The road was fully covered with water. So first few days when the water level was below knee level, we could go and walk to the SAG and all. But as the raining continued, it got worse and worse. At one point we went to SAG to practice on JCB. So that was a different experience for me.
Actually, one day we ended up playing cricket. So basically, we had this small medicine bouncy ball, and since it was raining, pretty much all of us had our umbrellas also. So we just started playing cricket with umbrellas and a small bouncy ball. And then after some time, a security guard was noticing us playing with an umbrella, and it wasn't very efficient technically according to him. So he decided to come to us, and he's like, "Here guys, you can play with a wooden plank." So we were using like a foot-long wooden plank to play cricket, and I think it was one of the best experiences during inter-IT main camp.
And also the sad part is I lost my cycle in cycling.
So this time Cyclone actually helped a lot. Like, first thing was nobody was tired. Everyone was fresh physically and mentally. Second thing was there is no flexibility in terms of what you can do. So you have to go for a lot of fitness sessions only. And fitness also won't be like too intense, because if you just do fitness every day too intense, you are dead. So because of that, because the span was so long, it couldn't be all intense sessions. So it kind of helped everyone temper everything to the right extent in terms of fitness. So nobody could go hard on the players.
So after Mishong, our Bombay contingent went to Bombay, and after 3 days our Gandhinagar contingent started from Chennai, and we also reached Gandhinagar. By the time we reached Gandhinagar, our Bombay contingent performed extremely well, and we dominated the whole Bombay leg, finishing with a total of 66 points. The second at that time was IIT Bombay itself with 44 points. After such domination in Gandhinagar, we were under pressure to perform. I'll be lying if I say we were not. But what I experienced was the cheering and anti-cheering. That's the heartbeat of inter-IT. Any inter-IT player would agree with this, and I do believe that when 500 people are either shouting your name or anti-cheering you, and that electric atmosphere is something which cannot be simulated anywhere else. These are the moments that we play for, these are the moments that we practice for, and these are the moments where you will remember for the rest of your life.
So basically, actually the main part is that Bombay and Delhi have different court layouts. So what happened in Bombay was that the audience was much farther away from the courts, and in Delhi the audience was sitting right next to the court. So it was quite distracting for us, and in between rallies also they would keep anti-cheering, so it distracted a lot. Whereas in Bombay the crowd was much farther away, so even if they were anti-cheering or shouting things, we couldn't hear it properly, and it didn't have that impact.
He was sledging like too much, and during Rahul's match he was making some things, he was pointing to him and
second player had won, third player was Rahul. And of the 5 matches he had to play, it was 2-all. So this was the 5th match, and it was super close, like they kept getting alternate points and all, and that one was like full sledging, and it's not even sledging, they were making comments that were not good towards Rahul.
So he said, Shahid ho gaya. So he said to Rahul, Shahid ho gaya.
yeah, like he was talking to our player.
Yeah, talking to our player.
And he was coming near the court and making some gestures towards Rahul and all.
I think Rahul also so in a squash court what happens is you usually don't hear anything from outside the court. But like I think Rahul was able to hear everything.
In music matches, while I was entering and leaving the court, he was just sitting beside the gate and making comment, unnecessary comment.
And Rahul was clearly getting like very agitated and all, and we were trying to calm him down. But
so in the end, Rahul won the game. Like, Rahul won the game, and it was awesome. Like, he
का वीडियो ला भी show.
Yeah, there's a
लेकिन
video.
मतलब
So Rahul gets the final point.
And the best part was the whole Gandhinagar contingent like Madras was there, and we all started anti-cheering Dhanbad.
So, one side full of the whole Madras contingent is there. I think a lot of people came. And the other side, there's Dhanbad. There's Gandhinagar was also supporting Dhanbad. And two of the other IITs are supporting him. Kanpur. I don't know why, but all these guys are against us.
all IITs are against us. All non-IITs are just
Yeah. So, we are all on the left, and they're all on the right, and they're all on the left. And as soon as Rahul finishes, he goes towards the guy who was saying things there and just bangs against the glass wall. And I don't know, like the second Rahul, we all started screaming Madras, Madras, and there's a video where you can clearly see Sriraj like full of emotion, and he's also like, Madras.
This was exactly 1 year after, even the date was December 19th, after that Roorkee quarter-final. So I remember me and Monty, we were discussing the date is also same, it's like destiny, playing against the host. And this time we were mentally prepared to play 13 people. But credit to Gandhinagar, they were quite neutral. But they did have their 12th man, the crowd. I think our game had the highest attendance. There were about 200-300 people ranging from the residents, staffs, students. They came up full josh to support their home team. They came with loudspeakers, and while fielding in the boundary line, you could hear all kind of abuses. I understood half of it since it was mostly in Hindi, but the atmosphere was so electric.
I think what makes the IIT Madras contingent unique is a family-like bonding within the contingent. And this contingent does not consist of only the players. We also have a support staff, which includes our coaches, who are always putting in extra efforts to make sure the players are well prepped for the matches. And our ground staff, who work tirelessly providing refreshments or taking care of any sick people on the tour. Our sports officers, our advisors, and finally our alumni who had tremendous feels and turn up for Inter-IIT in person even years after graduating, just because how much they love our contingent and how much they care for it.
We had our seniors who are trained by water polo coach, and they taught us the drills, and we use that. And we have a very good connection with our alums, the ex-Sharks. I would say better than any other team. Even in our finals and our semi-finals, almost 7 to 8 ex-Sharks came, and they supported us, and they gave us treat after that. And special credits to Kavade Bhaiya, who came every week for the pool and to teach us, and he used to referee. And he was working in Chennai, so he frequently came here every weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. Every in the finals and semi-finals, the ex-Sharks captains, and the year before, everyone came.
After the Bombay match, since everyone was down, and it was very difficult since the Kharagpur match was on the very next day and we had to get back on our feet. So I think I would give a lot of credit to Amit Bhaiya at this point, because every one of us is gonna agree to this, that every one of us was gonna fight for Amit Bhaiya to get a medal, because we promised him a medal in this GC, and we went into the Kharagpur match to win a medal for IIT Madras as well as to win a medal for Amit Bhaiya.
For me, he's someone who we admire in our ground. So it's like coach comes, he not only teaches us, he plays with us. Seeing him play gives an initial boost to play along with him and play really good with him, where he's a national level player. So we are like, why not we play with him and then play at his level? So that gave us an initial boost, and then we got up to our marks, and then it was, as Parth said, he started with basics and all. I guess we are in pretty good team now. Not with the fitness level after 4 to 5 months of Inter-IIT, but then we'll get back into shape. But then he's actually an admirer for us.
All the odds were stacked against us. Everyone wrote us off. We were completely underprepared. And the fact that we were going to participate and reach on time was itself a big question mark. But some people dream of it, some speak of it, and a very few do it. We did it. We won the Inter-IIT General Championship. the documentary, bro. Enter ID documentary. It's going to be.
I heard it's so long.
It might be